Hey, how's it going YouTube? Welcome back to another episode here on the G's Footage Garage. Today on the channel we're going to be installing ALKY CONTROL. And ALKY CONTROL is methanol injection. So the reason why we're going to install methanol injection on this car is because we want it to help us supplement our fuel system so we can make more power and run faster. Methanol injection is great for lowering your air intake temps. It prevents knock and it just has a whole bunch of benefits to it. Now, it does come with some risks, so do your homework, guys, if you guys are contemplating this, because if one of these pumps fails when you're doing a wide open throttle pull or anything like that, catastrophe can happen. Now, your tuner can put some safety measures on there to kind of shut the car down or anything like something like that. If one of these pumps was to fail and the car starts to lean out, there's some safety stuff you could put on there, but it does come with some risks. So I would recommend, guys, if you guys want to know more about methanol injection, please check out my friend Jared, Red Racer Video. He's on here on YouTube and has a great video on methanol injection. I'll put the link on the description here so you guys can check him out. He covers basically everything you need to know about methanol injection. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this install. I'm gonna storm through the bumper removal part of the install because we covered it before when we were installing the supercharger. We have a video on removing the front fascia. So we won't need to remove the front fascia, we won't need to remove the fender to gain access to the windshield washer reservoir, which we're gonna retrofit to hold our methanol. So that's where we're at, guys. Let's install this kit so we can start spraying some methanol into the air intake system and make some big horsepower. Let's do this. Okay, guys, so before I remove the front bumper and the fender to gain access to the windshield washer reservoir, which is going to hold our methanol, I just want to show you guys the ALKY CONTROL system. And it comes with a checklist with some instructions, some other pamphlets here that you must read. So pretty good information here. It is a lot, as you guys can see, but the kit looks well built. I always like to show you guys what the package looks like before we get into it, and everything was packaged well. Everything looks high quality. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the instructions are not as great as I would want them to. I saw a video by Tactical Garage, which helped me out a lot on installing this kit. Or should I say, gave me enough courage to tackle it. So hopefully this video brings you guys some good entertainment, but let's get wrenching on Boogieman. Always be sure to disconnect the battery when you're gonna, well, every time you're gonna modify your car or play with the electrical in any way, always disconnect the battery. Always. Okay guys, so removing the fender on the 6th gen Camaro was not easy. I gotta admit, it was kind of a pain in the butt. What I ended up doing was, thanks to Tactical Garage, I stole his idea. I loosened up the bumper. So I loosened it up enough to pick it up so I could get to the bolts that are here. See, there's some bolts here. So this one. So you gotta remove the front fascia just for this bolt, but what Tactical Garage did was he loosened it up just enough to get space in here. So that's what I did. Took it off here, took off the bolts that go on top, up there, through here, the bottom. So it was kind of a pain. What I ended up doing different than him was I actually removed the windshield washer reservoir because I had a really hard time loosening these bolts here. So I figured I take it off and I massaged it out. It was kind of a pain, but I got it done. I'm gonna call it, guys. I'm gonna hit the sack. I'll continue this video tomorrow or sometime during the week. It's progress. We're at the point of installation now. It's That fender sure kicked my butt. Today is another day. As you guys can see here, I have the pump already mounted to the car. But it wasn't easy at all. I actually, I've been playing with it for like the last, I don't know, hour and a half to get it to fit perfectly, because when they send you this bracket, it's not a, how can I say, it's not cut perfectly and it's not bent perfectly. It's just basically a flat piece of iron. And I try to guide myself with the instructions here, right there. See how they have the flat stack right there? And basically, I tried to do the same thing as the picture. To my dismay, when I try to put the bumper back on, when I try to put the fender back on, it would actually hit right there. So you have very little clearance. I ended up making a little oblong hole so I can kind of play with it and get it to the right size instead of making a bunch of holes. And right when I got it to fit perfectly, I put the fender back on and it still touched, even though I was right centered on that little crease. So what I ended up doing was I took out that little piece of iron out and I put it on the vise and I gave it a little bend. As you guys can see on this picture here, there's a slight bend to it, and that gave me the clearance that I needed. So now the pump is mounted and it's time to go on with the rest of the stuff. Okay guys, quick rewind. So I forgot to mention one very important thing that I needed to do to give me better clearance. As you guys can see, this piece of metal that holds the pump is held on by 2 screws. So this top screw here, I'll show you guys here, I ended up having to remove it because it was touching up against the body of the car, pushing the pump out too much. I took it off and I'm gonna go to the auto parts store and just get one of those that like a round head, or a the ones that you make the hole a little bit bigger and they kind of bury in a little bit. What are they called? It's like a little cone and they kind of bury in so they lay flush. So I'm gonna go buy some of those. Like that, it'll sit right up against the body of the car and give me better clearance. So hopefully that explains everything good. I have put a picture of how this screw was touching the body. Hopefully it clears it up. But that's the way I got it to fit and clear. It was definitely not a 100% direct bolt on, I guess you can say, in my opinion. Alright guys, so now that I have an idea where am I going to mount the pump and I feel comfortable with the clearances and everything, I'm going to go ahead and install the fittings on the pump, which should have been the first thing I should have done, but I didn't want to have them on there as I was taking the pump on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And per the instructions, it says hand tight. So it says do so by hand, then 1 full turn. So hand tight and then 1 full turn. Okay, so there's 2 of these fittings and they come with Teflon already. There's a skinny one and a big end. Technicalities are gonna kill me right now. You guys are gonna murder me with terminology. Let's see here. So it says hand tight and 1 full turn. Okay, that's hand tight. I don't even feel comfortable doing the well guys, that's all she wrote. That's as far as I could get it with hand tight. I'm hoping that's good enough. Well, that's as straight as I got it. Alright. Whew. Sure took a beating. Same thing for this little guy. Hand tight and 1 full turn per the instructions. Okay. Kind of wish I would have got this one a little bit more parallel, but that's all she wrote. Whew. That was sure a workout. Looks pretty good, huh? So now that we have prepared the pump, I'm not gonna mount it just yet because, like I said, I need to go to the auto parts store and buy that bolt that's gonna sit flush here to give us better clearance. But I'm gonna put this to the side and I'm gonna continue with modifying the windshield washer reservoir tank. Okay guys, looks like we got a perfect hole. Go ahead and make the other hole. Okay guys, now that I have installed the windshield washer reservoir, the pump at the perfect angle that I want it to be at, and I feel comfortable with the way the feed hose is hooked up to the pump, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the hose that feeds the methanol to the intake manifold, air intake. So, air intake. So I wanted to do a quick little update on this video and kind of show you guys somewhere that I dropped the ball. I wanted to show you guys how real this channel is and how transparent it is, that I not only share with you guys my successes but also my dumb mistakes. When I was installing the low level sender that turns on the LED when the ALKY goes low, I made a mistake. And let me show you guys what I did. Such a rookie mistake that I did, but check it out. So this float works like this. When it's full, it floats up, breaks the connection there. When the fluid goes low, it goes down, triggers the LED to turn on. Well, I didn't want to do it too low because I was concerned that it might be too low by the time I find out. So I did it a little bit higher, not realizing that across here is a little bar that runs across. So this float would hit that and it will never go up. So that's why my little LED will not turn off. Whether it was full or not, it wouldn't matter because this float will hit on the little bar that runs across like that. So I ruined this tank. I'm going to order a new one. I could possibly plug this and make the hole up here, but I'm just going to go ahead and order a new one. And yeah, that was my dumb rookie mistake that I'm going to share with you guys. But huge shout out to Julio at ALKY CONTROL. The guy was super cool. I called him up and I was like, hey, I'm troubleshooting this, you know, the low light doesn't come off. And he's like, well, he goes, it could happen that they're faulty or it's defective, but you should check it out. You like pull it out and make sure nothing's in the way. I'm like, okay. So I get home and I pull the sensor out and I look and I'm like, holy smokes, there's a little bar that runs across and I didn't even catch it. So little mistake that I made cost me a windshield washer reservoir, but hey, that's the transparency of this channel. We make mistakes here on the G's Footage channel, and this is real backyard hobbyist stuff. This is what happens. It's not picture perfect, I guess you can say. So this video is going to be delayed a little bit because now I have to wait for a new one to come in. I'm going to try the dealer tomorrow, and I'll show you guys how much that cost me, but it is what it is. You live and you learn. So over and out. So I went to the dealer today and I bought a replacement reservoir. It's crazy because I ordered it with the VIN number and they look different. You guys can see this one smooth here and this one has some little indentations here. So at one point they switched it up, but I tried it on and it bolts on just fine. One thing that's interesting is I made a hole on this one, and as you guys can see, that little crossbar is way up here. And then if you look at this one, the crossbar is right here. So on this one it's here, on this one it's here. So just my luck, I guess. So I already went ahead and drilled it to make sure, and I'm gonna make the hole right here, and I should be just Alright guys, so I'm at the point of where I need to test the system and make sure everything's working before I put the fender back on. As you guys can see here, I wired into the master flow sensor the yellow wire that goes into the MAF box, the trigger. I drilled my elbow for the nozzles, and I have my my bottle here to test it to make sure it works. All the fittings are tight. I tapped into the fuse box. I have power. My wires are pretty much routed where I want them, and all the fittings are tight there. I wired everything here on the floor for now, just to make sure that everything works, and then I'm gonna basically just throw that in back of the seat there, and in back of the carpet underneath, and I mounted my nozzle over there. And I'll show you guys that right now. You can see it right there. That's where I mounted the nozzle, and that's where I mounted the LEDs. So it's looking pretty good, looks very promising. But first things first, what I want to do is I want to drain the coolant, the water that I put in here, to make sure there was no leaks on the fittings. So I kind of stuck a little hose in here and got it out, but that should be good enough to trigger the low level sender. So let me go ahead and pull out my little budget hose that I did here. Alright, throw that away. Okay guys, so I replaced the tank that I originally messed up, and this flow seems to go up and down. So let's go ahead and add some boost juice to this and hope it doesn't leak. And let's watch that low level LED turn off when we do put some boost juice in there. So let's go inside the car. Okay, so I'm inside the car now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on to the on position. Okay, and as you guys can see, the low light LED's on, and that makes total sense because there's no fluid in the container. So let's cross our fingers, let's fill it up, and let's see what happens. And we have success. Yes. Alright guys, one small victory for the G's Footage Garage. The LED light went off. That means the float is working now, and we can continue with the test. Okay, there it is, it's working. Okay guys, the light turned green, so that means the system is working as it should. We're ready to put this car on the dyno. So let's go ahead and put everything back together. Guys, so in closing, Boogieman now has ALKY CONTROL methanol injection. So I'm super excited to see what kind of results it's going to put down. So please guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because you guys are not going to want to miss what this car puts down on the dyno. But with that being said, my honest thoughts and review of ALKY CONTROL, ALKY CONTROL's methanol injection kit, right? I think the kit was well built. I think it had quality components. I think it was rather easy to install, being that it's a complex kit. There's a lot of components to this kit, but yet everything kind of fell into place like a puzzle. There were some minor tweaks that I had to do, and this was my experience with it. I had the little bar that they provided was 100% vertical, and it made it so that the pump would touch the fender. The way I got around it was I put the little bar on the vise, gave it a little bend, and it cleared the fender pretty good. So I'm not gonna knock them too much on that because it was just a small little hiccup. At first I was like, the instructions could be better, but being that as I went through the installation and all that, the instructions were actually pretty good. One thing I would like to mention is huge shout out to Tactical Garage, because his videos helped me out a lot. So thumbs up on Tactical Garage because it helped me with my install. So before I lose train of thought here, so components are good. Let's go to price point. Price point right around 800 bucks. Not bad. I think it's actually pretty fair cost, being that there's so much that go into this kit, and the engineer who put it together is he did a great job. He did a great job because there's not a lot of vague areas. Everything kind of just falls in, you know, like a puzzle. Everything is pretty good. Customer service, gotta say, guys, exceptional customer service, because I ran into the hiccup when I drilled the low level indicator in the wrong spot. I couldn't figure out why the thing was not turning off. So I reached out to Julio over at ALKY Control, and I was like, hey, this is the issue I'm having. He told me a couple of things to look for. I did what he told me, and I found the issue. So so yeah, huge shout out to Julio at ALKY Control. Great customer service. And I mean, it was quick. I messaged him the night before, and the next day in the morning he had already replied to me, and I actually picked up the phone and gave him a call back, and he chopped it up with me for a little bit. And so huge shout out to those guys. Yeah, so I gotta give this product 2 thumbs up. I have high hopes that it's gonna last a long time, and I have high hopes that it's gonna make great power. So with that being said, guys, again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. It helps me with motivation to come out here after a long day of work, and you know, just come out here and vlog a video and show you guys what we're doing on Project Boogieman. And it makes those small victories when we go faster that much more sweeter. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys over at KP Fab and Tune when we put this car on the dyno.